I was just dusting off the hat, my friends, because I was just on another training and I just was throwing it against the wall back there. So um, I'm fired up already this morning. Dang near lost my voice, but we are here. Wake up legendary, my friends. And guess what? We have yet another. How do we do it? I don't know. We don't do it. You do it. This community does it. These amazing this morning, a burnt out math teacher becomes stay at home mom through digital marketing. Let's hear what she has to say. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, I can certainly tell that you're a teacher and,
Yep.
you got it all going on there. I love your little kids corner there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this was kind of the only way I could be here. I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna do it from my classroom.
Yeah, I mean, it's so this we're actually in your classroom right now.
hmm Yep, this is my room.
Wow, wow, that's really cool. We've had another teacher on our show, Kelly Roberts. You probably know her or have heard
hmm
of her. She's fantastic, and she was actually teaching affiliate marketing to her students. Have you taken it that far yet?
Actually, yeah, so I do teach a leadership class, and in my leadership class, right now we're doing an entrepreneurship project. So they are building their own business from scratch, and like two of the biggest pieces are marketing. And they're
Yeah.
like, my audience is everybody. And I'm like, no, you can't target everybody. You have to narrow it down. And they're like, but what does that mean? And I'm like, you can't target everybody because if you target everybody, you target nobody. And they're like, okay, Miss Ayalde.
Now, how old are these students? Is this an adult class, you said?
No, they're eighth graders.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what led you to Legendary?
It's kind of, I don't want to say a series of unfortunate events, but it's kind of a series of unexpected events. So this is my seventh year teaching, and since day one, I started when I was 22, and I was like, I will not be a teacher for the rest of my life. That means 33 years in the classroom with 11-year-olds, like, no way.
Hmm.
um, so what actually happened was kind of over the years, I've kind of looked for different things I could do to make money from home, make money online, and just really nothing ever stuck. And then July 2020, my son was born prematurely in an emergency situation. And because we were in the middle of COVID, because he was born with respiratory failure and he was in the NICU for so long. He's fine now, by the way. He's totally fine. He's almost 3. He's great. But because he was born with respiratory failure and we were in the middle of COVID, I qualified to be able to work from home for the whole next school year. So it was like I got to still work full time, but I was only working like 3 hours a day. I was home with my son for his whole first year of life. And it was like that step back when life just slowed down. I was like, I need to find a way to do this all the time. So then when I came back last school year and then this school year, I was like, life is just go, go, go. Like it's just nonstop. And I can't do this anymore. Like I want to be home with my son. Like my time is too valuable. My son is too valuable. My husband's too valuable. And working here in this environment, like it's like this, I need to find a way to get out of here. So, my mom actually, I remember crying to her one night and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And she sent me a post from Becca
Oh
and
my.
she was like, check out this girl. Like, I don't know what her thing is, but just check her out. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I sat on it for 2 months. And then finally, like at the end of Christmas break this last year, when it was time to come back, I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't go back. I have to find something. And I was like, I'm just going to start this thing. So I was like,
That mom sent
2023.
me.
Yeah.
That mom sent me.
Yeah. I was like, 2023 is the year of me. I'm starting a business. I cut off all my hair. Like, I'm starting over completely. And that's what I did. And now here I am. And at the end of this year, I'm taking a leave of absence and doing this full time.
Nice. Nice. And this year is, you mean at the end of 2023?
No, 13 more school days.
Okay, I was gonna say, I know school's out.
Ugh,
I have 2 kids.
Yeah, we're in school until the end of June because we start after Labor Day. So we got a little bit left, hence my
So, I mean,
classroom.
right, right. So I mean, this is about to get real. It's already gotten real for you. You're what, 28,
9.
29? I mean, when I was 29, that was, yeah, that was right around when I got into this and was kind of, starting to take off. And it was a good time. It was a, it could be done at any age. I could do it now as well, but there's just a parallel there. What you wrote in your questionnaire that you heard on the Wake Up Legendary show me say something about, put a fire under your ass. What
Yeah.
what specifically stuck out about that, and what came up for you? How did you relate that to your own life?
I think because like I work in California, which is like one of the best states to be a teacher in. We're one of the highest paid teachers.
Mm,
And so I live like I have a comfortable salary. I mean, it could be better. I could have, more money. That'd be great. But like it's comfortable. And so, gosh, I wish I could remember who it was that you were talking to. It was like a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. And she was talking about how her husband was like lost his job and he was having medical issues, and she was like, I had to make money, and you're like, that'll light a fire under your ass. And I was like, I am secure in my job. Like, am I treating this marketing like, oh, if it works it works, if it doesn't it doesn't, because I have this comfortable job that if it doesn't work I can still do.
yeah,
So I like kind of sat on it for a couple days, and then I like went to my husband and I told him, I was like, I just need to be done. Like, I may not be making hundreds of thousands of dollars yet, but I was like, I can't keep playing this game of if it's going to happen. We're going to play the game of when it's going to happen. So I'm taking away the contingency. I'm putting in for a leave of absence. We are good. I have other things like as backups if I need them. But I was like, this needs to be plan A. So the fire is under my ass. It has to work. No more. Like, I'm not going to rely on going back to teaching if it doesn't, because it's going to. So that was like my light switch moment.
that's great. I do love your handle, Stay Home with Sam.
Thank you.
That's my son's name, actually. It's such a cool name because it can be used in with boys or girls. But anyways, I just like the Stay Home with Sam because isn't that what everybody wants to do right now?
Yes, it is. I think, and that was like my biggest thing. It's like, I just want to be home. Like, I don't like waking up at 5 in the morning, or sorry, 4:45 in the morning to work out, to come and work a full-time job, and then, pick up my son, come home, have 2 hours to spend together, and then it's like, I'm exhausted. I was like, that is not life. Like, there is more to life than waking up and running through the rat race. And I was like,
Yeah,
I just want to stay home. So come and stay home with me and I'll show you how to stay home.
right. Yeah, and you know, whatever it's not particularly about like working within the make money online niche. Like I'm not saying that that's the only niche that we have an option or that people should work in, because I mean I just got off of a decade in a day workshop kickoff, and every single week on decade in a day we pick a new product and show how to enter a niche. And you know I talked about this morning how transferable these skills are, and the formula really works across every different niche. It's always the same formula. So once you
Hmm.
understand the blueprint, it really is a blueprint, and you can apply it to any product. Even if you find something and you're like, I really like that. Like, I wonder if there's an affiliate program and I can just throw up a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, start driving some traffic and test the product and, start making commissions. It really is, uh, it really is a, a vast business model, right? That can
Hmm.
be applied to so many different niches. But the idea of working from home, right? Not particularly working in that niche, although many people do decide to work in that niche, but just very simply working from home is the new it's like the new rich. Wouldn't you agree with that, Samantha? It's
Yeah.
almost like sure we all want to be everybody still wants to be millionaires. That's still a thing. But like that's not really achievable for most people, but working from home is. So it's like a realistic goal for like damn near everybody that I know.
Yeah, and that was my goal. Like when I started this, I told my husband, I said, you know, if I'm making $30,000 a month, great. If I'm making $10,000 a month, great. I was like, for me, it's not about the money, it's about the time freedom. And one of the things I don't think gets talked about is like when you're a teacher and you have kids, it is so difficult. Like if he gets sick, I have to call in a sub, I have to write sub plans. It's like 3 hours of prep just
Wow.
to be home because he's sick.
I didn't know
And I'm
that.
like, that's half my day.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just the flexibility to be there for him if he's sick or if he gets hurt, or if I'm like, let's just take a day off. Like, let's just stay home for the day. We live really close to Disneyland. So I'm like, let's go to Disneyland for the day.
Yeah.
So I was like, for me, it's like that time freedom was really what I was after, and the flexibility to do what I wanted when I wanted, and any money that I made after that was just a cherry on top. It was just a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's important for us all, I think, at the beginning to look at our finances, look at our life, and really be realistic about what we're doing and say, okay, I'm starting a new thing. Okay. This is a big change. Like if I really want this to work out and I want this to be successful, like this is a big life change. So let's look at our money. Like, let me sit down and look at my finances. Like, let me look at my credit card bills. What am I paying for that I can cancel? Like, categorize entertainment, food, shelter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like transportation.
Yeah.
And then, but look at that entertainment. Look at some of those other categories, miscellaneous stuff that you have subscriptions that are still, I give everybody when they enroll in the blueprints that cleaning out kind of assignment. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's an analogy for your life, unsubscribing from stuff, freeing up money, and also saying, if I'm going to do something, I need to be realistic about expectations. I think one of the number one things that people kind of just hurt themselves with, we do this to ourselves, is set unrealistic expectations. Like, oh, why is it not happening for me? I've posted 3 videos. It's like, but I'm being dramatic, but even if you've been doing it for
It's
three
true though.
3 months, it's like still we always are like comparing ourselves. But if I can look at my situation, look at my finances, see what I can cancel, if I can set realistic expectations for myself, and try to live below my means for the first 6 to 9 months, just like
Yeah.
think about it. You're starting a business, you're making a big life change, you're starting from the bottom. That the song goes, started from the bottom. Now we're here,
Yep.
not started from the middle. Now we're here. You know what I mean? So, how are you embracing being new and starting something as a beginner?
I think I think I was really able to relate it to just being a first year teacher. And that's kind of what I was thinking about. Like when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. Like my classroom walls were essentially bare. um, like not that that's a big deal, but like I had no idea what I was doing. I had no classroom management. And then it was like as the years went on, I was like, okay, this worked well, and I'm going to continue to do this. Okay, this didn't work well. I'm going to tweak that. I'm going to see if I can make it better. And so I think coming into this new experience, like I had to put that hat on again of like, I am a beginner and I know nothing. Like I had no idea what any of this was about. Um, which is exactly why I like jumped in. I like have a whole notebook at home and it's literally just notes from the videos from Legendary. And I was like, I'm gonna treat this like I was starting something brand new. And I think just the mindset was the biggest piece of it. And it's so difficult. And it was something even I struggled with coming in. Like I came in, started following like top affiliates that are all over the leaderboard. And I was like, well, I want to make $3,000 a month in 3 months. Like that's awesome. And I think you just have to like step back from that and go, okay, I can't rely on a video going viral. I can't rely on something miraculous happening if my videos are only getting 50 views, if my videos are getting 1,000 views. How can I maximize my content to give the best value to the 50 people that are going to watch it? And so it was treating it like a small business that I was trying to grow, not treating it like a big business that I was trying to bring people into. And I think once I kind of made that mindset shift of like, I want to give the people that are choosing to watch my videos, I want to give them the best information that I can. And if they bring in other people, great. And if they don't, great. But these people want to watch it. Like once I started focusing on that, that's when I started to notice like more growth, more engagement, more following. Like once I kind of took off that, I want to make this huge thing huge kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes total sense, and it makes sense to people in the comments as well. What was coming up for me as you were talking was the very simple idea: if you have 10 people and they're not going like really liking it, then even if you have 1,000 people there, like even if TikTok was to be like, okay, we're gonna throw you one today, we're just gonna put 10,000 people on your video, right? We're just gonna put it in front of 10,000 people. Just it's a freebie, just guaranteed. But if 10 people were crazy about it, it's 10,000 aren't going to be. So it's like, it's not that a lot of times I see people with like kind of like a victim mentality, or like they think like TikTok's trying to get over on them or something, or it's a conspiracy or whatever. And it's like, that's not how the market works.
No.
The market responds to stuff that it like. So it's hard to take responsibility and actually be like, yeah, that it's my content kind of sucks right now. It's like I'm not that
Yeah.
good at it yet. Like I need to get better. Like it's hard to be humble like that and just take it on and just like take total responsibility for the outcome. It's easier to be like, oh, well, that person must know something or have a secret or have an edge, or they did something early, or it was a timing thing, or now TikTok's not the place to be anymore. It's saturated, or like all the different external things that we blame instead of just like taking the feedback, like the market's trying to tell you something.
Mhm.
It's not funny. Like you tried to be funny. Well, that wasn't funny. It's not. It's like, well, fuck, that wasn't funny. It's not like the end of the world. It's not like the market wasn't like, you're a piece of shit and you should die. It's not, you know what I mean? The market was just like, that wasn't funny, bro. Like, but we
Yeah.
can't, we can't, that's hard to handle. So how do you take market the market response as feedback instead of indicators of failure?
So I think I just, I mean, I work with 11, 12, 13-year olds, and I don't know if you know about that age group, but they are vicious. So they will instantly tell me, like, nope, that does not work. That does not make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I make it better? And so I think I just kind of already have that in my brain of like, that doesn't work. And you just can't be offended by it.
Mhm.
Like, I'll go back to my lower performing videos and I'm like, okay, what happened in this video? Like, why did this not grab people? And then I'll go to one of my higher performing videos and I'm like, what about this video was captivating? And I try to go back and forth between the two and compare them. And I will try to remake my lower performing video by putting in elements from my higher performing videos. And then I usually see a bump. I usually see an increase the second time around because I'm like, oh, I learned something, like I did it better. And so I think just like you can't be offended by every small thing that doesn't go your way. Like you can't be upset when a video flops. And I say that knowing that I have had moments where I'm like texting a friend and I'm like, oh, I spent so much time on this video and no one liked it. And then I'm like, all right, like wake up the next morning, dust off your knees, get up, go back and hit it hard the next day. Like it's okay to be down about something, but you can't live in that moment. Like you have to be willing to get up and go make it better, try again. Because when you kind of take on that defeatist mentality, you're not gonna grow like that. And I see that all the time. Like in my day job, kids come in, they're like, I'm gonna fail. I'm like, well, yeah, you are. If you come in saying you're gonna fail,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. If you come in saying my videos suck, my content sucks, I have no engagement, I have no followers, I'm like, yeah, that's probably true, and your your mentality behind it is probably why.
Yep.
So I know it's easier said than done, but you just like you have to get out of that headspace of like you said, like, oh, TikTok's against me, Instagram's against me. Like you got to take that off and just be like, I'm going to start fresh. And like I go through and I watch so many different affiliates in my niche and other niches. And I'm like, okay, where is their text? Where are their call to actions? Do they do two calls to actions? Like I try to just pick out those pieces and I'm like, this video went well and they did this thing here. So I'm going to try to make a similar video, not like necessarily the same content, but just the strategies and techniques that they're using. And I'm like,
Yep.
I'm going to try that out. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, okay, I'm going to go try to find another one. Like
Yeah.
you just constantly have to be willing to reevaluate and adjust.
And I used to think that I had thick skin until I realized it wasn't as thick as I thought it was. I mean, a lot of
Yep.
us really, I mean, if you're getting offended easily or you're getting into victim stance or the defeatist mindset, like you said, then your skin is probably thinner than you think. And that's okay. Mine was too, believe it or not. I realized I was a lot more sensitive than I realized I was. Seriously. And it was like, oh my God, I'm like really taking this personal or whatever. And I had to really learn how not only to thicken up my skin just in life in general, but also to use social media, not let social media use me.
hmm
And there's a couple of different ways that we can let social media use us and not use social media. The first way is taking everything personally and letting comments and negative things that people say really get us down. Um, Another way that we can let social media use us and us not use it is we tiptoe around it like, oh, I don't want to offend TikTok, or I don't want to post too many videos. I don't want to have too many profiles or whatever like that. And TikTok doesn't care. TikTok actually appreciates your multiple accounts because it makes them look like they have more users than they actually do. You know, this is a common thing social media companies have done for the longest time. That was Elon's issue when he was buying Twitter, was he said there's not as many active users as you guys are saying there is, right?
hmm
So a lot of them are bot accounts or duplicate accounts or whatever like that. So what is a strategy for you to, now you're before you could somewhat leave your business at or your work at work because you left the building. In this case, you bring the phone with you and you're working all the time. How do you set up boundaries around your business, and what does a typical workday look like for you? And let's talk about it, you as a teacher, not your very in 12 days full-time digital marketing. I'm talking about just up until this point.
So up until this point, um, back when I like was first starting, I bought a notebook and I like wrote out a schedule. I was like from 5 to 5:45, I'm getting up and I'm working out, and then from 5:45 till 6:30, I'm getting ready. Like I wrote out a whole daily schedule. And so back when I was going through the course, my time was 8 to 9:30 at night. Like after my son went to bed, that was all I had, just that hour and a half at night. And then once I started getting my social medias up and running and I started getting everything going, I kind of still was able to stay within that time frame, like 8 to 9:30. I want to say in the beginning, it was probably a little bit later because I knew nothing about creating videos. I think my first video, which was maybe, I don't know, like 30 seconds long. It took me like an hour and a half to make because I had no idea what I was doing. But after that, it got a little bit quicker. And I want to say now, I only can create content at night unless I have like a spur of the moment idea and I'm like, all right, I'm at a stoplight. Like, let's record something real quick. Um, but I wake up in the morning and I just do like a quick Instagram check, like, okay, anything crazy happen? No, okay. And then I go about my day, getting ready, take my son to school. And then if I'm on like a lunch break, I'll typically respond to any DMs I have. And that's also usually when I go and throw in some engagement, respond to comments, like go watch other people's things. So I kind of eat and work at the same time. And then it's kind of on pause until later in the evening. Every now and then, if I get like a quick DM from somebody and they're like, I'm ready, I want to start. And I'm like, all right, here's my ebook, go check it out. Like, that's a quick thing. But I really try, like, my whole goal is to prioritize my son. And so I really try to not be on my phone when I'm with him. And in my brain, I'm like, that is stressful because I'm like, these are people, they want to know all the things. They want to start and I want to help them to start. They can't wait 4 hours, like they have to know now. And so I have to get out of that mindset of like, nope, everything is on pause until 8 o'clock. And then it's like at 8, I do a quick like DM check, respond to a few, and then I create my content for the next day. And then that's kind of it. So, oh, you know what? Sometimes in the morning when I get here, I might have to like throw a caption on a video before I start the day if I'm like too tired at night to do it. But it's kind of just finding my little pockets throughout the day where I'm alone. So I'm not losing out on family time. I'm not losing out on my job. Just finding moments. That's not the bell. Sorry. um, there's
Class
a
is
zero
in
period.
session.
I know. There's a zero
All the kids
period
coming.
PE class.
Ah!
No, we don't start for an hour. We're good. But yeah, so just finding like pockets here and there, but really having that like I work at 8 o'clock. Anything major that I'm gonna do is after 8. So if you're in my DMs and you're waiting, like it's not gonna be until nighttime. And I'm sorry, that's just how it is right now.
So that was a really thorough explanation. Thank you. And I expected nothing less from a
Sorry.
organized teacher like yourself. No, I mean it's helpful because there's people that are asking and people want to know and people want to kind of try to figure out how they can where are their pockets at? Where are your pockets at? You know, you got to find you listen to these different examples of people and they're talking about their schedules, they're talking about what their day looks like, and we always have to remember to eat the meat and leave the bones. You know, I mean, it's not if it flies, you know, if it doesn't, what is it? How's it go? If it let it fly, if it doesn't apply, something like that. It's you're not going to hear somebody's schedule and think, oh God, let me write that down and I'm going to be able to follow it. The most important thing that or one of the most important things of many that you've said today is that, you know, even as a teacher, you had to find over the years what worked for you, what you enjoyed. We really underestimate and almost forget about. I see it so much in our community or in with new online entrepreneurs anyways, that you know, we're looking for somebody to tell us exactly what to do and exactly how to live too much while simultaneously asking to be a free living entrepreneur.
Hmm.
You have to you're not applying for a job here. You're not, you know, it's, you know, and the questions like how long did it take you to make a full-time income and all these kind of things. It's like, well, there's people who started making tens of thousands of dollars within their first month, and there's a large majority of people who never made any money.
It's true.
It is true because they didn't do anything, because they asked those kind of questions for too long. They were, like Ludacris said, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, we got to fall in love with the journey, not the destination or whatever this other person is doing. How do you keep the blinders on and not get distracted by comparing yourself to what other people are achieving and the time frames they're achieving, how they're living, blah, 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 and just kind of like fall in love with your own journey? Is there something that you say to yourself? Is there something that helps you to be grateful for your journey and your challenges, and embrace them and learn from them and see the glass as half full instead of half empty? Why isn't that happening for me? Why is, like realizing the grass isn't greener on the other side? It's usually just artificial turf. It's like we run so hard to try to get over to somebody else's grass, and it's like, damn it, not even real grass over here, but it looks so nice from far away. How do you
Yeah.
avoid that? How do you avoid that?
I think, I'm not innocent, like, I have definitely said the words, like, "Why is this not working?" Like, I know those words have come out of my mouth, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna pretend to that they haven't,
sure.
but, I think, like, I came in at a time where I was able to watch so many people, like Becca and Caroline and Chelsea and Kayla, and Nicole. Like, I started this at a time where all their businesses were starting to grow, and it was really easy to be like, "Well, why is that not happening for me?" And instead, I just try to be like, "That can and it will happen for me." And
Okay.
so looking at people that are having major success and using that as motivation to know, "I will too." Like, I'm still new in this game. Like, I'm not, I started this back end of February, so I'm, like, kind of in the middle of month 3, month 4. So I'm, like, still not new, but I'm not, I haven't been doing this since October of 2022. But I think you can't compare yourself to everybody else. And like when I do my lives on Instagram and they ask, they're like, "How long did it take you to start making money?" Like you said. And I'm like, "Well, I'll be honest, like these are my results. This is my timeline." But I know people that have made their first high ticket commission in 8 days. I know people that didn't have their first high ticket commission until 4 months. Like everybody's journey is different. And I think like for me, when I look back on my beginning content, when I look back at my first ebook that I wrote compared to the ebook that I have now, I'm like, I have grown so much and I'm so proud of how far I've come. And I'm
Yeah.
thankful for the community. I'm thankful for the friends that I've made through this process and the people that have supported me along the way. And I'm like, all I do is I can just see growth for myself in every aspect, from
Yeah.
what I'm putting out there to my confidence to my income that's grown. And I'm like, if I can just continually see growth, then I'm going to get to where I want to be. It doesn't matter who's making money. It doesn't matter how much money they're making. It doesn't matter that their video got 17 million views and my got 1700. Like that can't matter.
17
All that yeah, like
or
17,
17.
right? Like that can't matter. All that can matter is that you can look at what you're doing and know that you're growing and be proud of what you are growing into, and anything else is just a distraction, like, and there's no point to it.
Yeah, because you don't know the full story anyways, right? It's like you're looking at somebody's highlight reel. And this is also how we let social media use us. We know it's the highlight reel. You're
Mhm.
not getting the full story. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners, right? Now,
Mhm.
if that stung a little bit hearing that, well, make sure that you're always focused on winning and you're not focused on other people, because guess what? If I'm what that means to me, what that means to me is if I'm focused on comparing myself to somebody else, knowing that I don't have the full story, I'm knowingly giving myself a disadvantage. Why would I
Mhm.
do that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Even if I'm able to talk to that person, I still am not confident that they're sharing the whole story with me,
No.
what their life is really like, what it's really like to be. I may have kids, they may not. I may not have 3 kids, they may have 2 kids. My life may be just it's just we're all different in our the way we process things and the speed at which we do things, and it's just there is no one size fits all. So when I'm comparing myself to other people, I'm knowingly, or at least after you hear this,
Yeah.
you're knowingly giving yourself a disadvantage. So
Yep.
it's unfair to yourself to even look at somebody and do anything other than get inspired. You can't do
Mhm.
anything other than get inspired, because what I can do with my imagination is I can imagine that, well, damn it, I can do that too. Look at them. If they can do it, I can do it too. And that's one of the most powerful things about coming to masterminds in our events. For those of
Mhm.
you who have an opportunity to come in the future, is that you meet people and you like, you're looking at somebody, you're waiting just to see if they levitate, or if maybe they fall and they bleed, blue or
Gold.
purple or gold, right? Or if they open their mouth, $100 bills just start, falling from the
From the
sky or something,
sky.
right? But then, the longer you just sit there and then it's like they're a regular human being. You're like, well, damn, if
Mhm.
they can do it, I can do it. You come and you realize the people are no smarter than me. It's not about being even looking good, sounding good. Sometimes looking funny or sounding funny or being different can work to your advantage if you work it.
Mhm.
It works if you work it. I tell you,
It does.
I mean, come on, look at some of these entertainers in social media celebrities who are, people from all different kind of walks of life. And the more unique and different and weird they are, the more we like to watch
Yep.
them. So why do we pretend to or try to be so perfect, Samantha?
I don't know, and I think, like, that was a struggle for me beginning because I was like, "All these women are so beautiful," and I was like, "I have to always wear makeup, I have to always do my hair," and, like, if you watch, like, my first videos to now, I'm like, I rarely am wearing makeup, my hair is always in a bun, and I'm like, I am a working mom, and that is like, of course, my I would love everybody to come, but I'm like, my main audience is I'm trying to show working moms that you can do this thing. And this is what a working mom looks like. Right now I am in leggings and running shoes and a sweatshirt. Yesterday was dress up as your favorite teacher day, and a bunch of my girls dressed up in leggings, running shoes, and a jacket. And I was like, that is me, and I'm not going to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And I think once I like stopped doing that, that's when people were like, yes, I can relate to. Like, I'm a working mom too, and I
Yeah.
get so many DMs, and they're like, I have 2 kids and I work full time. Like, I don't know if I have the time. And I'm like, okay, I only have
Well,
1 kid. I don't know what 2
ladies,
is.
ladies, I'm a working dad, okay?
Yep.
And I got my short fishing shorts on. I got my sandals, my slides, you know what I mean? I wear the same shirt every day. I mean, it might be white or black, but it's the same design. Usually it's, something laying around. I got the hat that, it's the same. Ladies, working
Yeah.
dad here. We can do it too, fellas.
Yeah.
And you know what? Isn't it nice when you finally just start embracing what you're actually comfortable in? And when
Mhm.
you start feeling more comfortable, you start being more confident. And when you're more confident, others start being more comfortable.
Yes.
That was a
Yes.
humdinger right there.
That it is.
I
It's
mean,
so true though, and I can tell, like, everything that I started in the beginning when I did not feel comfortable, when I felt like I was trying to do what everybody else was doing and nothing was working. And finally, I was like, all right, I got 10 minutes. Like, my hair is crazy. We're just going to throw it up. And I've had
yeah.
people, one of my friends message me and she's like, how is your hair so cute all the time? I'm like, girl, this is 2 days unbrushed. Like, that is what this hair is right now. I'm like, but I'm glad that you like it.
I
So
mean,
I'm like,
well,
once you
yeah.
can just
You
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I would say, like, once you just start being yourself, like, and your personality comes out, then people are like, yes, like, I am that, or I can relate to that, or I've been there. Like, how are you doing it? And I feel like that's been like a huge shift.
Well, a lot of us can just benefit from trying to live more authentically, honestly. This process, how many Rick says, how many hats do you go through? Rick, let me show you something, my friend. I'm going to show you something. This is the same hat, okay? And look at how damaged it's just fallen apart all in here. It's gnarly. It's flooded with I don't even looks like cat hair, but I don't have a cat. Um, the wood back there, every time I throw it against the wood, it's like 100-year-old dust because that's like 100-year-old barn wood. It goes like like the dust goes like everywhere, and it like I gotta like brush the hat off. So Rick, brother, I keeps it real. I don't switch out the hat every day, brother. Okay, I'm
The
living
shirt, yes, but the hat, no.
living the real internet marketer lifestyle, which is we don't wash a lot of stuff. Like shirts get reworn and sandals and very simple life. Okay. Um, what were we talking about here? I forgot.
Um,
We were having a
being real, being authentic.
well, yeah, there you go. And so, most of us could benefit from just learning, allowing this process to let us become more of who we are and unwind some of those old corporate and societal
Like,
characteristics
yeah.
of our personality that we've kind of developed as survival mechanisms
Hmm.
to fit in and be professional. And you know how you change the way you talk? Some of us literally change, not me so much, but I know a lot of people do change the way they talk. We should not have to change the way that we talk and phrases that we use in our family or in our culture or whatever to try to need to fit in to some sort of a corporate environment. That's what I got to say today, right? Because
Yep.
my motto is fuck average, be legendary. That's average, right?
Yeah.
That's an average ass mindset where everybody has to be the same and everybody has to fit in a box. And oh, you can't say that, do that, wear that because that's offensive to me or whatever. That's bullshit. That's limited lack thinking, right?
Yep.
We need to embrace our individualism. You look in this community, it is a diverse community to where what we recommend and encourage is to embrace self, to be more of your authentic self, not just so you can perform on camera, that too, but also just because confidence breeds comfortability in other people, right? The more
Yeah.
confident you are, the more comfortable they will be with you. And confidence doesn't mean dominating.
No.
Just like leading doesn't mean managing. There's a difference between being in charge and being in control, as my somebody that another mentor of mine, Dan, says. There's a difference between being in charge and being in control, right? So this process, I think, for a lot of us can help us. It did me anyways. It helped me to start telling bits and pieces of myself as a business owner just to people, whether it was my audience or others, and I started to become celebrated for those things. I was
Hmm.
like, people were like, "Oh wow, you're sober, you're this, you're that, you were homeless, now you're a lot not." People were inspired by that shit. People love a hero story. So
Hmm.
why do we all try to hide ours when each one of us has been a hero in our own lives in some way, right? You've listed
Hmm.
many things that you've overcome, and now you're about to take your whole life on a massive journey for the better to give your family more freedom. That is something that potentially your children and grandchildren are going to talk about you. Hey, mom or grandma Sam, back in the day, she was a teacher, but she made the tough decision. She saw into the future and saw that times were changing, things were changing, and
Hmm.
she wanted to invest more in her family and in her children instead of everybody else's children, because she knew that the best way that she could change the world was right inside her own home. And she really blazed the trail for us daughters and granddaughters and grandsons and all that to be entrepreneurs and leverage online digital technology instead of just trading time for money. I mean, who knows? That could be what your kids talk about you in the
Oh
future.
God, I hope
Heroic
so.
shit that you're doing right now.
I hope so. Excuse me. Yeah,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
no, I mean, do you sometimes it's hard to notice that because it feels we almost are like asking for permission to do stuff. It's like, oh, can I do this? Or I'm sure you feel guilty about leaving your kids in the classroom, right? I'm sure that's a real
Mhm.
thing. But at the end of the day, you're really doing a heroic thing for your family.
Mhm. I think that was tough. I actually just told them yesterday because I teach 6th grade also, and so they were like, "Are we gonna have you next year in 7th grade?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I'm not
I
going to
know.
be here."
I
And they're like,
know.
"What?" And I was like, "I need to spend more time with my son." And they're like, I literally had a student go, "But we're your kids too." And I was like, that's really sweet, but you're not. I was like, "You are, but you're not." And I was like, at the end of the day, like, he trumps everybody. So I gotta do right by him. And me being stressed, like I could tell on Sundays I would get snippier because I was like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Like I like could feel it in myself. And I was like, I just want to be home. Like that's all I wanna do, I just wanna be home, like, I don't like that he has to eat his toast in the car on the way to school, like, we're in such a rush, like, we can't even sit down and have breakfast, and I was like, "The first Monday that I am not teaching, I am sitting him at the table, I am making him toast, I'm making him eggs, I'm making him cereal and strawberries and juice, like, we are having brunch before you go to school," and I was like, "This is going to be the norm," like, that's what my
For you.
mom did for me, and I was like, that's what I want to do for my kids. Maybe not brunch every day, but my mom made me breakfast every day and sat at the table with me. I'm like, that's what I want. Like that time with my kid. That's why I started this. Not so I could be a cajillionaire, but so I could be a mom, like
Mm.
a good mom. Not that I'm not a good mom now, but a more present mom.
Well, my friends, you heard it here first. And if you want to watch Samantha stay at home, then go and follow her on TikTok and Instagram at stay home with underscore Sam.
Yes.
Samantha, it's a pleasure. It's been an honor. It's been so much fun. And I want to give you time to prepare for your day because you've got
Thank you.
12 more before you
Yep.
start this next amazing chapter in your
Yes.
life. Congratulations for that, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Keep up the great work and come back and see me again in a couple of months. Give me an update,
Yes.
okay?
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, Samantha. See ya.
Bye.
All right, my friends. Wow, what a legendary marketer there for sure. I mean, so many nuggets, so many different words of wisdom and ways that she's used. Obviously the curriculum and the frameworks that we teach, but also the things that we've said, that I've said, that she's heard along the way to make her own and to motivate her to take some serious action and make some big decisions, which have led her to this place of this kind of milestone moment of now retiring from her teaching job and going full time online. Like that's an incredible journey. It's happening, or it happened fast for her. And of course, she made the decision to put that rubber to the road and go full time. And so that's a great example of what's possible. So thanks again, Samantha, and everybody, my friends. It's Friday. Make this weekend great. Do something that really makes a difference. It's halfway through the year. So make a decision that you're going to actually prove to yourself that you know this stuff, not by just continuing to learn it, but by actually putting it in to action. That's when you actually learn something. That's when you know something. Have a great weekend. If you're not through the challenge, continue to push through it, finish it. That's one of the biggest indicators of success for me is, can you actually finish something that you've started? So go through that, get into the blueprints if you can. That's a program. That's not just a course. That's a program. We're doing a workshop right today for all our blueprint students. It's called Decade in a Day, where we try to condense down a decade's worth of information in one day. And that happens every 2 weeks. So you didn't miss anything. Get enrolled, get started. And most of all, learn this information, even if it's not here somewhere, you're going to need it. Trust me, we're not going backwards. People want to work from home, and people want to get their information and their knowledge from somebody that they know, like, and trust online. It's where we're at in 2023. So happy June 2nd. Again, halfway through the year. Let's make this last half of 2023 the best half of year that you've ever had. Stay legendary. We'll see you back here on Monday for another episode. Peace.